Hello and welcome. My name is Brynne Tilllman, CEO of Social Sales Link. I am so excited to be here at the Social Selling Summit this year and thrilled to be talking about one of my very favorite topics, which is leveraging your LinkedIn network to grow your business. If you're like most salespeople, over the last few years, you've really grown a significant network on LinkedIn, probably over 500 connections, and many of them targeted prospects. But they're just not converting to business. Today, we're going to talk about how do we take this network and monetize it? How do we reach out to people that we've ignored or connected with and never had a conversation? And how do we leverage their networks to get warm introductions into qualified prospects? Really excited to talk about that topic today. And I want to make sure you guys stick around for the entire 25 minutes because at the end of this, I've got a great gift for you. And it's really a gift. So hang around. You're going to love that. So let's get started. The foundation before we dive down in that deep dive into re-engaging and engaging new people is really about making sure that your profile is positioned to do its job. And if you're in sales, the purpose of your profile is to convert your visitors to phone calls. So although I could do an entire day on profile, I want to talk about really a couple of the key things that are absolutely essential so that when we do go out and do this business development, they visit the profile, your visitors are excited to talk with you. So let's start with above the fold. I know that's an old newspaper term, but above the fold in LinkedIn is literally what they see when they show up at your profile. And typically it's three things. It's the banner, it's your photo, and it's your headline. So if you can get some great graphics on your banner and get that up, it's certainly going to pop. You want to have a professional photo. I'm sure you've heard this 100 times, but it is really important. And then it's your headline. By default, most people have their title and their company name here. Well, your company name actually is living right underneath, and it's hyperlinked to your company page, so people could get a lot of information from that. And your title, especially if you're in business development, can actually be a detriment. Now, you should be very proud to be in sales and business development. I'm not saying that this isn't a great thing. However, when you are asking for introductions, and that's the first impression someone gets of you, they're less likely to take your call. I'm not saying change your title, your experience, you are still, is still your title. But your headline does not have to be your title. In fact, it shouldn't be. It really should be what's in it for them. Why would they have a conversation with you? So mine is transforming the way professionals grow their business through LinkedIn and social selling. What is it that you offer your prospects, your clients? What is it that would get them engaged? And then I offer a resource below. Now, you may not have video tips or an ebook, but you can leverage your summary to be that resource. It doesn't have to start with, and in fact, we don't like it to start with, I'm passionate about, or I have 15 years experience, etc., because they don't care about that yet. We want you to start with a resource. Change it from resume to resource. Because if you can provide value to your prospects before they even have a phone call, they are much more likely to want to have a phone call. So I offer 3 tips. There are lots of areas that you can share based on whatever it is that you offer or do with your prospects. And we suggest that you start with that. The second part of your summary is how you deliver that, what you do, how you interact, how you engage with your clients, and maybe a little bit of that differentiator. And the third piece is the call to action. And if you're in business development, any kind of marketing that you have out there should always have a call to action. And although there are many, one of the best calls to action is to invite them to a phone call. So here's mine. Please feel free to come connect with me on LinkedIn, visit my profile, and you can take this if you like it and just reword it to make sense for you. So if you're in need of leveraging LinkedIn for prospecting, professional branding, and/or networking, I invite you to have a conversation. Whether or not we decide to do business together, I'm confident that our call will be full of insights and actionable steps that can help you grow your business. Here's a link to my calendar. Please pick a time that works best for you. Now, you can purchase one of the Time Trade is what I use. There's Calendly that has a free version. Lots of great resources out there for you to use to sync to your calendar. I have seen this to be one of the absolute most incredibly productive tools that has really changed my pipeline. And I drop a lot less phone calls or opportunities for phone calls because I always have a link. I actually went and bought the URL, schedule a call with Brynne.com, and that redirects to my calendar. So something to consider. I could go on and on about your LinkedIn profile all day long, but we're going to go dive deep into what we were talking about earlier, which is leveraging your network. Okay, so where are we going to start? Well, the very first place to start is with your first degree connections. The people that you've probably been connected to for months or years and have been ignoring. A lot of times we don't even realize who we're connected to that we should be having conversations with. So we want to begin with the advanced search. Once we click on that, there's a relationship box, and I want to go to my first degree connections. So let's say I want to talk to people, say Vice President Sales or VP Sales, right? That might be who my target market is currently in that position. I'm going to copy this because we're going to use that later. I can choose by zip code, or I can go in and choose location by city. So I can go in and put Greater New York City, and I hit search. So I get 18 results of Vice Presidents of Sales or VP of Sales that are in my Rolodex. That means I am connected to these 18 people. And I could go ahead and I can change my city if I want to, or I can even add, let's say I add Greater Philadelphia area, and all of a sudden my search results become 117. Well, this is great, right? This is awesome. These are people I'm connected to that it can remind me to have some conversations. So let's say I want to now reach out to Mead. I haven't talked to Mead in a while. I reach out with a little message. Mead, I hope this finds you well. It's been a while since we've connected, and I'd really love to have a brief conversation, learn a little bit more about what you're doing, and explore ways we might be able to help each other out. So I can start to re-engage with folks that I haven't talked to in a long time. One of the keys of doing this successfully is making sure you know the titles of the people that you want to talk with and really doing an accurate search. So that's 117 people. Now, the next area that we want to focus on are our second degrees. So what is a second degree? It's a friend of a friend, right? What I'm doing when I ask an advanced search, second degree connections, is I'm asking LinkedIn to go through all, and I call them Rolodexes, but all of the profiles of all of your connections. So all of the networks of your first degree connections. So Rolodex is a great way to look at this. So LinkedIn, go through the Rolodex of every one of my connections and pull up the VP of Sales or Vice President of Sales that are currently in that position. And I'm going to go back to those two same locations. I'll do Greater New York City. Remember, I had 117 before that were first degree connected. And now it's going to be an insane number of 5,472 people that I'd love to have a conversation with that are second degree connections for me. Well, this is a huge opportunity. Now, if you have the paid, you're going to get some great features. So this is a tease for everybody with basic, but if you have the premium LinkedIn account, any one of them, I can laser focus and say, let's say I am focused on companies that have 11 to 50 people. Well, now I'm down to 976. And if I wanted to drill down even further, I could. So maybe I want to go by industry. And let's say for the sake of this, I'm going to totally focus on the information technology industry. So I'm looking for the VP of sales in New York and Philadelphia in the technology world that I share a connection with. And now I'm down to 95. Well, this is a great list to start working on. And here's the magic, right? So Jim Mayhall is a second degree. He's an EVP of sales at HealthQX. We have 13 shared connections. If I click on that, I can see the first 3, and then I can open this up in a new tab. Right-click New Tab, one of my favorite features in the internet. And I can see all 13. Well, I quickly see that Milena Bish is a connection, and she's one of my clients. And I actually rent offices from her company, American Executive Center. So this is a great place for me to start. So I can reach out and ask Milena for an introduction to Jim. So how do I do that? Well, I copy Jim's name because I want to make sure I spell it right. And I'm going to click through to my connection, Milena. Now, because I'm connected to her, I can send her a direct message. So I can ask for introduction request, and I can say Milena, and then here is my introduction paragraph. If you'd like this paragraph, connect with me on LinkedIn. If we're already connected, send me a note and say, please send me the introduction paragraph via the Social Selling Summit, and I will get this to you. So I am now going to paste Jim's name in here, and I think that was at HealthQX. So, Milena, I hope this note finds you well. As you may know, I'm leveraging LinkedIn to grow my network and noticed you were connected to Jim Mayhall at HealthQX. I was wondering if you'd kindly provide an introduction for me. If you could copy us both in an email or LinkedIn message, I can take it from there. To make it easier for you, I've included a short paragraph below that you're welcome to copy and paste. Also, please feel free to look through my connections. I'm happy to make introductions for you as well. So I am now going to make this easy for Milena. All she has to do is copy me and Jim with this message. I'd like to introduce you to Brynne Tilllman, CEO of Social Sales Link. I thought it might make sense for the two of you to connect and investigate how you might work together. Brynne helps sales professionals build their pipeline, reduce the sales cycle, and close more business through leveraging the power of LinkedIn. Brynne's LinkedIn programs have made a significant impact on the way professionals are growing their business. Brynne will be contacting you the next couple of days. Please take her call. I believe it will be well worth your time. And then my contact information. So she sends this out. All she has to do is copy Jim and copy me, paste this, and send, and it's ready to go. It doesn't take her any time, and typically she's happy to make that introduction. Now I get the introduction. All I have to do is reply all. Milena, thank you so much for the introduction. Jim, I look forward to having a conversation. Here's a link to my calendar. Please pick a time that works best for you. And then all of a sudden, it really brings some power. It's really an excellent way to grow that relationship and to leverage those people, right? So that's through your advanced search. The next way is specifically through your client. So let's say Milena and I decide we are going to have coffee. We're going to meet and make some introductions for each other. I can click through to her connections, and now I can see all the VP of sales that Milena knows. So here I can go and I'll have to do or Vice President of Sales. So I do the search and I get 16. When I click through the 16, I'm now going to actually bring this down. So 3 of them we overlap. She knows 13 that I don't know yet. So when we meet for coffee, I'm going to say, Milena, go through my connections, pick out who you want to know. Feel free, to build a list of 15, 20 names. And then when we're together, we can whittle them down and I'll make some introductions to people that you're hoping to have a conversation with. And I can do the same. And so now I take this list and I do my due diligence, and maybe I decide there are 5 of this 13 that I'd really like to meet. When we're together, I show her this list and she can whittle this down to 5 people of the, to 3 people maybe of the 5 that she's willing to make the introduction to. This is an incredibly powerful way to leverage your network. You could do this with clients, with your networking folks, anyone that it makes sense for you to have a conversation with, and to make some mutual introductions. Start to leverage this. So the next and last piece we're really going to talk about today is really important. After you start doing this on a daily or weekly basis, where you're asking for 15, 20 introductions a week, you're going to start to see an uptick on the people, as I mentioned, looking at your profile. So who's viewed your profile is something that you want to make sure that you are looking at every single solitary day, especially if you have the free account. So as you look through this, you're going to start to see, now I can go on for 90 days because I have the paid account, you're going to start to see who's visiting your profile. So if you have someone that's viewed your profile that's a first-degree connection that you haven't talked to in a while, drop them a note. Say, hey, Jake, thanks for checking out my profile. It's been a while since we connected. Would love to set up a brief call and figure out how we might be able to help each other out. Now, what happens when you get a third-degree or a second-degree connection? Well, this is a perfect opportunity to reach out. So I want you to treat this like caller ID. I'm going to open up, see Jared's LinkedIn and say, yeah, this is someone I would love to have a conversation with. So what can I do? I can connect with Jared directly, and I can say something simply like, so I like to say we've done business together. And I'm going to reach out. And I'm going to say, thank you for visiting my profile. I had a chance to look at yours and would love to set up an introductory call to see how we might be able to help each other out. Here's a link to my calendar. Please pick a time that works best for you. Now, I know you can have a link in a LinkedIn connection request, and there are some ways, backdoor ways around that. But for today, typically I just have a little space in that link, and people will just click through and know to fill that in. So if they go in and they take this, paste it here, they're going to see that, and most people will know they can actually just fill that in, and that's going to give them a link to schedule a call with me. So I can send this out and look forward to connecting with Jared. Now remember, he checked me out first, and so it's a great opportunity to connect with him. And then when he connects, I'll set up a call. So let's connect with someone. So let's do this. I'll get a message that says Jared connected. So let's connect with someone. So here, let's say, oh, look, so noticed you were a speaker. Thank you very much. So I'm going to look at Kenton, and I'm going to look, maybe he's watching now, which would be great that we're doing this live. And I can accept, I look through this and go, yep, I'd love to accept. But now I want to make a determination. Is this someone that I would love to have a conversation with? And I look at this, if I'm in a networking room, this is someone I'd want to talk to. So if I say, yes, I'd like to have that conversation, when I accept this connection, or when someone we request accepts the connection, I want to send a little email inviting him to have a phone call, a little message, right? And it works great, right? So I go send a message. Nice to be connected, Kenton. And he'll get a message like this. Kenton, thank you for connecting with me on LinkedIn. As a networker, I always like to start off a new relationship in giving mode. Here's 5 LinkedIn tips. Let me know if you're interested in setting up a brief call. Now, I can put the whole link in here because we are now a first-degree connection. And I send that out, and hopefully Kenton and I will set up a time to talk. So really fabulous opportunities here that are really incredibly powerful. So I hope that you get to put that into action as much as you can. So I promised you a gift, and here it is. My gift to you is a 79-minute powerful LinkedIn video that will help you grow your business. My clients pay a ton of money for webinars and programs similar to this, but because you are part of the Social Selling Summit, I would love to invite you to linkedinwebinar.info, and the password is SSL. This will be available for about a week to you guys, at no cost. It's an amazing, powerful webinar. So you've got about a week to watch this. So it's linkedinwebinar.info, password SSL.